Hi, I'm Matt Ledger. I'm Butler Branding's content strategist and copywriter, and today I'm going to tell you how we create the initial brand messaging for a client who we've just onboarded into our system.
Guys, you've asked for it, so here it is.
I'm Matt Ledger. I'm Butler Branding's content strategist and copywriter.
My name is Art Zaragoza. I'm the digital marketing director for Butler Branding.
Hey guys, my name is Chris. I'm a graphic designer here at Butler Branding.
This is going to be a YouTube series called, The Process.
Hopefully, if we've done our job right, Sean's talked to you about how he met with the client, conducted an in-depth discovery session that's going to align everyone together so we can produce a strategy, a set of initial brand guidelines, a logo, images, a marketing plan, and then my part, which is the client's initial brand messaging and copy. So what that consists of is a tagline and a sub-tagline, an elevator pitch, a value proposition, and some marketing copy samples, which for the most part is ad headlines. We actually have some blog posts about each of those things on our website in the Write Good Copy series. We've got one about taglines, we've got one about value propositions, we've got one about the elevator pitch. In addition to being a good place to start if you're looking for resources after you watch this video, it's also the template I use every time we onboard a new client. Each time we onboard a new client, I'll take the discovery document that Sean has produced for us, which contains a load of information about the client. I'll open up each of these blog posts that Sean and I put together to start using them as a template to create this Word document where I've laid out pretty simply, hey, here's where the taglines and sub-taglines are going to go, here's where the value proposition is going to go, here's where the elevator pitch is going to go, and then here's where our ad headlines are going to go. So it's honestly pretty simple. You might not expect the Word document for this thing to be laid out this simply, but we find that it works the best this way. So when Sean hands off his discovery document to the team, the thing that helps me get into the client's head the most and figure out what story they want to tell, what sets them apart, and what we're going to say about them is the elevator pitch exercise that he conducts with the client. This is where the client sets us up with the problem that they're trying to solve for the people they work with, how they solve it, and then what the result is for the people they're working with. For Central Valley Medical Imaging, we actually came up with 2 elevator pitches, one for the patients that Central Valley Medical Imaging works with, and one for the providers that Central Valley Medical Imaging works with. So the elevator pitch is usually where I start because that's the most comprehensive set of information that the client has provided us about how they see what they do and the story they want to tell. So when I'm looking at this document, I'm starting from the elevator pitch. I'm going to start writing my own elevator pitches, which are kind of a refinement of the information the clients have already given us. When I'm looking at the document, I'm looking for the information that the client thinks sets them apart and also the information that I think sets the client apart. So I'm, in addition to reading through the document, looking at the elevator pitch, I'm looking even at the UX section where they're talking about how their users are going to use their website or their marketing materials or stuff like that, because that informs me how I should speak to the users, in this case the patients and the providers who are either going to come to the website or come to Central Valley Medical Imaging or read a brochure we produce in the future, stuff like that. I'm looking at this 30,000-foot view that Sean put together. I'm basically reading through the entire document. So once I have my elevator pitches together, cobbling together the information from the discovery document and also some research I've done on my own, that's when I usually start trying to pull information out of those elevator pitches and make the client's taglines. As you can see here, I've got like 5 taglines listed. I usually list about that many for each client. I usually write about twice or 3 times that many. So at some point in this document, there were probably 10 to 15 different variations of the taglines that are here. Once I've started writing these is about when I start to go dig into the client's competitors or others in their industry that are doing the same thing. Because A, I want to make sure we're not using the same tagline that the client's competitor is. That's a no-go. And B, I kind of want to make sure that our tagline sets us apart in a way that makes sense for this specific client. A good example for Central Valley Medical Imaging specifically is that I had hit upon this tagline very early, the clear choice for medical imaging, which is so clever, right? I assumed that someone must be using it already because it seemed so obvious to me. It was low-hanging fruit. I searched around, and while there were variations of that tagline in other places, I didn't actually find that exact tagline, so I did include it in the document for the client, but I also noted, has seen variations on this. I don't hate it, I just think it might not be unique enough. Whether Sean chose to show it to the client or not, I honestly don't know at this point in the process. I'm sure, and usually when he does that, he kind of copies my notes over and he puts that context in for the client. So like I said, I usually write probably 10 to 15 taglines. I do different variations, just like little stuff like changing the word you to the word the and figuring out which one I like the best, that sort of thing. Once I've got the taglines figured out and once I've got the elevator pitches put together, I can usually do the value proposition pretty quickly. The value proposition is basically a condensed version of the elevator pitch that you could say to someone within like 30 seconds or something like that. For Central Valley Medical Imaging, the key things I'm focusing on are the fact that patients and providers want these exams performed quickly. They want to be able to talk to the specialist after the exams are performed, and they want the results to be accurate. You'll see in the different elevator pitches that actually I use the word results for patients and the word interpretations for providers, because that's actually industry lingo. Providers talk about interpretations for imaging like this. Patients don't understand what that would be. They just want to see results, basically. That's something I learned from my technical writing software days, actually. A document like this usually takes me about 2.5 to 3 hours to pull together after I've gone through as I'm going through all the information and sifting everything out. So once I have the elevator pitch, the taglines, the value proposition, that's usually when I'll come down and I'll put the ad headlines in last. At that point, I basically have my vision of what I want to say for the client and how I think they should present their message put together pretty clearly, so I can make it into the concise 4 to 5 word ad headline that we're going to show either on Facebook or on a billboard or anywhere else, basically. And that's about it. If you have any more questions about this, I'm sure we'll produce other videos like this in the future. You can definitely leave them in the comments. I'm the one running the Butler blog mostly at this point, so I can even answer them there potentially. So I'll catch you later. Hope you enjoy the next video in the series.
And the very, very first thing that we do whenever we encounter a new client and we're putting together a marketing plan is to listen.